Get 3 months of local news for just 99 cents a month. You'll get unlimited access to the news you need to stay engaged and connected to your community. Visit DuluthNewsTribune.com/subscribe now to get 3 months of local news for only 99 cents a month.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Friday, May 24th. I'm Wyatt Buckner, the Duluth News Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union's services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
Summertime is fast approaching, and if you're wondering about some of the big events in the Twin Ports, Duluth News Tribune arts and entertainment reporter Jay Gabler has the details with his 2024 Summer Weekend Guide.
Lots going on this summer in Duluth, needless to say, and our guide to summer weekends encompasses much of it. So it's a good opportunity to get your calendar out and mark the biggest weekends that have events that you do not want to miss. I'll mention just a few events to take particular note of this summer, not necessarily the biggest events, but events that there's something noteworthy around. One of them comes up this weekend. This Sunday is the annual Magic Smelt Parade along the Lake Walk, that New Orleans second line style procession celebrating the silvery smelt, Duluth's favorite invasive species. This may possibly be the last year for the Magic Smelt Parade. It's organized by a guy named Jim Ure, who is retiring this year just because he wants to spend more time with his grandchildren. Very understandable, but there's no plan right now concretely in place to take the helm of that parade. You'll learn more about that in my column for this week, but that is worth noting that a smelt parade that might be Duluth's last is happening this Sunday in Canal Park. Other notable events happening this summer, Trans Joy Fest is coming back in June, on June 9th. So June, of course, is Pride Month, but Duluth Superior Pride happens every year over Labor Day. In June, though, there's a day that has emerged to celebrate the transgender community in the Twin Ports and beyond. That's the Trans Joy Fest. And after a couple of very successful years at Gitchudea King, the park, it is moving out to Park Point. So that is happening on Sunday, June 9th, the big third annual Trans Joy Fest. Other events happening, well, Juneteenth is celebrated every year in Duluth, but the specific way it's celebrated, the date, the number of events, and the location can change a little bit. This year, there are at least 2 different Juneteenth events happening on 2 different dates. There's the Twin Ports Juneteenth on June 15th at Harrison Park, and then the 50th annual Juneteenth Jamboree. Huge event is happening at the Central Hillside Community Center on June 19th. Grandma's Marathon, of course, I need to say no more about that. You know, that's coming up every year. The Super Rhubarb Festival is happening. What, Super Rhubarb Festival? That's right. This is the 50th anniversary of Chum, the nonprofit that presents the Rhubarb Festival. And so they promised that this year on June 29th, there's going to be a Super Rhubarb Festival. Other big events coming up this summer, All Pints North coming up in July, already sold out. Sorry if you're a beer lover and you missed your chance. Watch your email if you get on the email list to sign up for next year, because All Pints North is already sold out. That same weekend, though, FinFest is back for the second of at least 5 years in Duluth. And if you are wondering why Finland is considered the happiest country in the world, well, here you have plenty of chances to find out without even leaving the Northland. That's July 24th through 28th is FinFest here in Duluth. Other notable events coming up, a lot of regular events, art in Bayfront Park per usual, the Dragon Boat Festival over in Superior, Tribute Fest. I'm just, naming a couple of the events that are happening this year as every year. And then the summer wraps up with Duluth Superior Pride per usual over Labor Day weekend, now celebrating nearly 40 years of celebrating Pride in the Twin Ports. And yes, once again, there are plans for a Saturday festival at Bayfront Festival Park and a Sunday, September 1st parade. That's all part of Duluth Superior Pride, and that whirlwind tour was just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to summer events over the weekends this year in Duluth. For more information on summer events, well, watch the Duluth News Tribune and stay tuned to the DNT Minute all summer long. But you can see my feature right now at DuluthNewstribune.com. I'm Jay Gabler.
Now here's today's headlines. A team from Pacific Rex has discovered one of the most famous World War II aircraft, the P-38 Lightning fighter plane assigned to America's top ace, Richard I. Bong. John Gidley, executive director of the Richard I. Bong Veterans Historical Museum, made the announcement during a press conference Thursday. Bong is credited with shooting down 40 Japanese planes and named his plane Marge after his girlfriend, whom he later married. The famous pilot, who was born in Poplar, affixed Marge's portrait to the nose of his P-38. In March 1944, Bong and the aircraft were photographed by news correspondents, and these images turned Bong and Marge into instant celebrities. Jerry Bong Fechtelkotter, the famous flyer's sister, introduced him to Marjorie Vantendal. On March 24, 1944, the Marge P-38 experienced mechanical issues while flown by another pilot, First Lieutenant Thomas Malone. The pilot bailed out and returned to duty while the plane crashed inland from the north coast of New Guinea. Bong was bestowed the Medal of Honor by General Douglas MacArthur. Upon returning home, he married Marge. Soon after, Bong died testing a new jet in California. 2 months ago, on the 80th anniversary of the crash of the plane, the Bong Center partnered with the non-profit Pacific Rex to search for the Marge P-38. The aircraft was found in the jungles of Madang Province, Papua New Guinea. Bong Center curator Brianna Fiant said they were notified of the find May 17th. Pacific Rex confirmed it was Marge using the plane's unique serial number. Finding the plane was an amazing experience, said Justin Talon, director of Pacific Rex. The group trekked to the site along old plantation trails, walking through grasslands, jungles, and up and down hillsides with help from residents of a nearby village. It was hot and humid, and the dogs following along scared out a bandicoot at one point. The aircraft was at the top of a ravine, its 2 engines sticking out of the ground. Although a logging operation had taken place close to the site, the area where Marge rested had not been touched. As the group moved up the ravine, they found larger and larger pieces of the plane. Near the top, they found the right wingtip, painted red, stamped with the numbers that closed the case for them, 993. The United States Army has no claim to the planes remaining in New Guinea. All war wreckage is owned by the independent state of Papua New Guinea. The country's mission is to preserve and honor that history, Talon said. 2 pieces of Marge have already been removed and repurposed. Talon said there are portions of the wing being used as a bench. He said people have been sitting on top of pieces of the plane every day for probably 50 years. The former Park State Bank building in Duluth's Miller Hill Mall parking lot was recently demolished to make room for a new Chick-fil-A. The mall website lists Chick-fil-A as coming soon and is expected to open as early as August. The Chick-fil-A menu includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, chicken strips, and nuggets with sides, desserts, and beverages. The restaurant will feature a drive-thru, according to city permits. According to its website, Chick-fil-A generates 80 to 100 jobs with each new restaurant opening. There are 27 Chick-fil-A restaurants in Minnesota, with over 3,000 owner-operated locations nationwide. The bank was demolished May 7th. Prairie Contractors Incorporated, headquartered in Frankfort, Illinois, will perform the work on the new restaurant, valued at $850,000, according to city permits issued in late April. The site is owned by Simon Property Group, which also owns Miller Hill Mall. The Miller Hill Park State Bank branch closed in May 2023 after Simon Property Group didn't renew its lease. The bank's Lincoln Park, Mount Royal, and West Duluth branches are still open, and plans are underway for a new branch in Hermantown on Haynes Road. Now here's a look at your forecast, brought to the News Tribune's Northlandia podcast.
Happy Friday, Duluth. Looking at rain and wind throughout the day today. It will be a chilly one with a high only around 47 degrees in the Duluth area. Cooler at the lake with an easterly breeze about 20 to 30 miles an hour. We will continue to look at rain ramping up and diminishing then into the overnight hours. Looking at about a half an inch of rainfall by the time we get to your Saturday morning. Then skies clearing to mostly sunny with temperatures boosting up to 71 degrees. Enjoy it while it lasts because we'll be tracking cloudy skies returning for Sunday and into your Memorial Day with a chance for a stray shower or two and temps back in the 60s. I'm storm tracker and meteorologist Jesse Ritka.
Thank you to the Northlandia podcast for their support. The bi-weekly podcast explores curious and unique stories here in the Northland. The latest episode looks at how a Grand Marais coffee shop connects the community with weather reports. You can find that episode and others at DuluthNewsTribune.com or wherever you also get this podcast. Reporting for today's episode was done by Maria Lockwood, Dan Williamson, Riel Bredston, and Jay Gabler. Thank you for listening to Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on Tuesday.